Good morning, guys. Clint here on a beautiful Friday morning. It's about 3:30 in the morning. Got old Rocky fired up. Got my old plug here. Those who don't know much about diesels, it's the block warmer pretty much. Hold on a second, we gotta unplug this thing. Keeps the block warm because diesels run on compression. If it gets cold out, metal shrinks when it gets cold, and you crack a piston, or no telling what else you could do. But I want to give you a dad tip for right now. Kind of my goal of the video. Some people come to a panic when it comes to driving into the, hold on a second here, the white slippery stuff here. Can't really see down there because it's too dark, but I'm gonna try to keep this as simple, short, and sweet as possible. When it comes to driving in the snow, one, if you do not have a vehicle that is good for, oh, hold on a second, lost you guys here. There we go. If you don't have a vehicle that is good to drive in the snow, let's say, for instance, I have a four-wheel drive truck with mud tires pretty much. That's not a bad vehicle to drive in the snow. A front-wheel drive car with good tires, not a bad vehicle to drive in the snow. A weighted down two-wheel drive truck, weighted down, I mean, some people put concrete bags in the back, but they put quite a bit of weight over the back wheels so they get traction. Not my first option, but it works. Now, driving a two-wheel drive Chevy Colorado in the snow with nothing in the bed, not a good idea. But where I am going with this, something I do, like the other morning, I'd heard that there was supposed to be this freezing drizzle, and I walked outside, didn't see nothing, didn't feel nothing. So when I got out on the road in two-wheel drive in my truck, I got onto the gas enough to notice pretty quick that the road was slick. That told me I needed to slow down a little bit, and I locked her into four-wheel drive and drove on into work that way. And I drive close to 70 miles a day to work. So the next thing is, you just seen me put my seatbelt on. It don't hurt. I'm not telling you guys what to do when you're driving, but it's just a safety recommendation that I recommend you guys put your seatbelt on driving in the weather, at least. Once you get out on the road, get going, leave yourself some room between you and the person in front of you. Put your phone down. If you're easily distracted by your phone, put it up in your glove box, console, whatever. Put it somewhere where you're not going to want to mess with it. Pay attention to what you're doing. Leave yourself some room between the person in front of you. That way you don't have to hit the brakes if you don't have to. That's another thing I recommend, is avoid the brakes at all costs. Yes, slow down a little bit, but if you're gonna go so slow that you're gonna actually be a danger to other people around you, or let's just put it this way, you're scared to death to drive on the crap, stay at home. That causes probably more accidents than people driving, at a safe speed. I'll just put it that way. The other thing, like I said, just slow down a little bit. You don't have, if it's bad enough you need to come to a crawl, you just need to stay home. I'll just put it that way. That's extreme icy conditions. The other big thing is stay smooth and steady. That comes with avoiding the brakes. know, you're not getting into the throttle, hitting the brake, speeding up, slowing down. Just stay smooth and steady. It'll get you a long ways. So that's a big thing I preach on more than I would necessarily slowing down. Just simply because, you know, use dirt track metaphors for a while. When a track is red and tacky, or nice and tacky at the beginning at night, you can run it pretty hard. When it dry slicks up, you know, you can't just be, you gotta be smooth getting into the corner, or else you're gonna loop it around every time. And it's basically the same concept, driving on the snow. So, we just thought I'd give you a little bit of tips. Like I said, smooth and steady goes a long way in my book. Driving in the snow, running over the road the way I've done for several years. I've learned a few more tips of driving in the snow, and that's one of the biggest things I learned in my younger days. I'd have been out cutting donuts in the middle of the road just to do it. I'm going to show you something real quick. On my dash here, a little yellow light just above the tag, that's a sign that my traction control is turned off. Well, I don't know if you can read it either, but I turn everything off traction control wise. Simply because if you get in a situation where you need to try to take off on a hill, it's going to kick it in and out, where you know your throttle is going to be very unsteady. And if you start sliding, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to kick the ignition in and out. I got a diesel pickup, so I can't really say ignition on it, but that's one reason I don't use traction control when it's slick out. The other thing is, when you're running traction control, you know, like I said before, you want to be smooth and steady. So if you're sliding and that's kicking in and out, it's taking away your smooth and steady. That's something that I've always learned. I've always had to learn the vehicles I learned to drive, and when I was first learning how to drive in the snow at the age of 13, didn't have none of the stuff that these new vehicles have. Another thing is, like I said, you got to give yourself some time, slow down just a hair. But you just got to be smooth on the throttle. You know, I've said avoid hitting the brakes if you can. If you're scared of driving in the snow, stay home. I'm not saying that you don't need to be a little more alert, maybe be a little more prepared for something to happen, but you kind of need to stay relaxed. If you're tense, you're more likely to get into the throttle and hit the brake harder than what you really need to when it's slick. That, I can't stress it enough. If you're scared to drive in the snow, or don't have a vehicle that's meant, you know, it's good for the snow, stay home. Just stay home. If it's icy out, if you don't have to get out, even if it's snowing, if you don't have to get out, stay home. I know there's guys like me that love to go out and find an empty parking lot and catch some donuts. I don't have an issue with that, but you're usually not scared of driving and stuff. So we're going to close this out. Stay safe out there, be smooth and steady. God bless you guys. We'll catch you later.